Hi, everybody. Welcome to writing. We are going to flip back over now and work on informational writing again. You will have an informational paragraph this week, and you will need to send a copy of it on Friday to your mom or to your teacher. And so just know that as you're doing your work all week, you will produce a final copy that will go to your teacher on Thursday or Friday. Your goal this week is to write an informational paragraph with a topic with facts and details and a conclusion. And we're going to do it on kangaroos because this week you are studying the continent of Australia. In reading, you're studying about schools, and in writing and in social studies, you're going to be doing something to do with Australia. All right. Now, let's look at those parts of a paragraph again. A paragraph always starts out with a main idea, and it's usually at the beginning, and that is your topic sentence. Then, what you do is you organize information about the topic sentence. This will be about kangaroos, and you write at least about 2 sentences in each one of these areas. This will be a fact and a detail. This will be a fact and a detail. This will be a fact and a detail, and this will be a conclusion sentence wrapping it up. Those are parts of an informational paragraph. And remember that a paragraph just communicates an idea in a series of sentences about a topic or a main idea. All right. Now, here's some examples, and you're going to see some a little bit different than what I've been teaching you because they actually are better writers and not than you all, just they've been writing a long time, and they've put their voice at the end in their conclusion. They've made it more like they're talking now. So it says lions are animals from Africa that are part of the cat family. Okay, so right there, we know that they're going to be talking about lions, and they're going to be talking about part of, like what they do, where they live, or how they eat and stuff. They live in groups called prides. Baby lions are called cubs. Lions have a very loud roar that can be heard 5 miles away. They are carnivores. That means they are meat eaters. If you see a lion, you might want to be careful. They are fierce predators. Now, that is excellent because that person has a very clear topic sentence. Then they go in and they teach us about prides and baby lions. Then they talk about how you can hear a roar 5 miles away. So a fact and a detail. It cannot be opinions. They're carnivores, which means they eat meat. So that's very clear. 3 great facts and details about it. And then down here at the end, they did a really unique conclusion because they said, if you see a lion, you might want to be careful. And then they even taught us another fact because they're fierce predators. Now, this one says birds are everywhere in the world. So we're going to be talking about birds, maybe where they live, everything about birds. They have beaks, feathers, and wings. Birds migrate south for the winter. Migrate means to move from one place to the other. I really like how they explain that difficult word right there. Female birds build nests. Nests are made from things like twigs, grass, and mud. They lay their eggs in the nest. Look outside your window. Do you see or hear birds? So see, this is a really good writer right here because you could have said in conclusion, birds are everywhere around the world. See, and wrap it up. So again, how do you introduce what you're talking about? How do you give facts and reasons and details that explain and show and teach your person that's reading it what you're talking about? And then how do you wrap it up and conclude it at the bottom? All right, here's another one. Honeybees are flying insects. That's our topic sentence. It explains what the paragraph will be about in an interesting way. They live in colonies. There's our detail and our fact. Colonies are groups of honeybees that live in a hive. Honeybees make honey from nectar. That's our second fact. They use the honey to feed their own. That's a detail. Honeybees spread pollen. That's a fact. Honeybees can sting you if you bother them. Now, that person added an actual fourth fact. See, because they could have said this gives us new plants and flowers. Well, no, the pollen and stuff. And then they added a fourth fact to this. So that's really wonderful. And then there's our wrap up. Honeybees can sting you if you bother them. Watch out. We need honeybees. So see how they wrap that up. So topic, introduce your reader to what you're talking about. Fact and detail, fact and detail, fact and detail, and a conclusion. If this was a normal year, each one of these would be a paragraph with us. And so I know Mr. Young's doing some of that, but what I really need is a paragraph that is indented, meaning pushed in. You have very clear margins. You have a topic sentence. You have 3 facts and details. And then you have a conclusion to your paper. That's what we're looking at or looking for by Friday. Now, what I want you to do is I want you to get your blank piece of paper and I want you to pause this video and I want you to draw this mind map. And remember what I said to you, make the circles big enough that you can put things in them so that you can take it and make a paper out of it. I always put my first, my next, my finally there right now. And then what we're going to be writing about is this first circle is going to be about what continent do they live on? What is their habitat? Do they live around rivers, deserts, in the mountains, in the grasslands, in the forests? And you can't just guess. Okay, you really need to get your information. Our second paragraph will be about diet. And our final paragraph could be about 2 really interesting facts or just one that you learned about kangaroos. And then we'll wrap it up. So go ahead and pause the video now, get your piece of paper and create your mind map. All right, so you have now drawn your mind map for me. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you your topic sentences. These are my choices. You can use these. I gave you 6 great topic sentences to introduce kangaroos. You could come up with your own if you want to, but it has to be where you're telling your reader what you're going to be talking about. Kangaroos are fascinating creatures, and then you're going to talk to us about where they live, what they eat, and then you're going to give us a couple of fascinating facts about them. What do you know about kangaroos? Let me share some interesting facts about these wildly popular creatures. Learning about kangaroos is interesting. And then you're going to go on and you're going to say, why are they interesting? Where do they live? What do they eat? What is some interesting facts? Kangaroos don't make great pets, but they are unique creatures. Kangaroos are popular animals, but do you know much about them? I really like that one. That's a good one. They hop, jump, and leap into our hearts. But how much do you really know about kangaroos? And then you tell your reader all about what you learned about kangaroos. All right? So now what you're going to do is pause the video and you're going to pick one of these, or you are going to write one of your own, and it's going to go in the top circle right here. All right? So go ahead and pause your video now and go ahead and write one of these topic sentences in that top circle. All right, so now you're rolling, and your job today is only to learn past this point. You have your mind map made, which is this. You have your topic sentence chosen, one of these written right here in your top sentence. And now what you're going to do is you're going to have this in your slides where you can go through and you can learn all about them. Your first thing that you want to learn about that you might want to take notes on is where do they live? What continent do they live in? Where do they live on that continent? So do they live in the mountains, the forests, and everything? Now I will tell you, here's some information here. And you want to put it in your own words. Remember that. So you don't want to just copy this sentence word for word. You want to put it into your own words. All right. If you need to listen to this, you start right here and it will read it to you going down and going down and going down and going down. Okay. Then what I want you to do, see that? I'm going to start to the left. So it reads it to you. Then what you're going to have is you're going to have these two to learn from. Here it tells you where they live. Here it tells you something about where they live right there. Here we don't have, oh yeah, down here. Ooh, this really tells you where they live right about right in here. All right, so this is great right here. I'm going to do something where I can write on this so that you can see it. So right about right in here is an area. They also tell you like up in here where they live. All right. So it is definitely there. And remember that you can listen to these by doing this if you don't want to read them. Then I give you another one. I give you another, hold on just a second. It's not, let me close this right quick. Then I give you another two passages, okay? And your only job today is to start writing notes down maybe about where they live and what continent do they live, and also things like, all right, I want to know like grasslands or forests or deserts or where they live, okay? And that's your notes for today. All right, so what we did was we reviewed, and then if you really want to be an overachiever, I made you this slide right here where you can even go and you can click on a kangaroo and you can watch a video about them, okay? So what you've got done so far is the mind map is drawn. You have filled in a topic sentence either from here or made up your own. And now your job is to think about the continent they live on and the habitat they live on, and maybe write some notes down. If you really want to keep going, you could write their diet down. Are they a herbivore, carnivore, omnivore? What do they eat? You can't just say that. Okay, well, they eat meat. Well, what's their favorite meat? What's their favorite, like grass or whatever? Try to figure that out. And then if you really want to get industrious today, you could even write a fact that I just need this done, and this beginning right here where you're thinking about the continent and the habitat and you're finding it in these, okay? So your slide will look like this for the day. And so you have done your goal. You have watched a video about quotation marks because I'm doing this where you're learning on your own. You have done a page in your writer's notebook. You have done some exercise. You are now listening to me, and now you're making sure that you've done these things, okay? And if you've done those things, then you're done for the day. So have a wonderful day, and I will talk to you tomorrow.